work schedule and stuff. But I can't believe my Uncle Var made it. He must have been he must have been a lot better health and thinner and stuff. But we would come with the year Mom came, it was that ridge thing, and we would come down off of the shale down into camp. So there's a big ridge.
You went on once, Mom?
What?
So Mom.
This is my back.
My your grandma Ballard, and so I remember her during the hike. I go, "You having fun, Mom?" And she says, "No, I'm not." And you're kind of like, "I'm only 10."
Walk away.
Anyway, and the big joke is finally we all got to camp, and then Mom and Dad were up here, and they finally got her down here, and she swears that her arches fell. and
I got her feet.
Yeah, her arches fell. And Dad just grabbed my two sisters' bandanas and wrapped them around her ankle and her feet and just tied a knot and says, "Is that better?" And she said, "Yeah." And, she comes down here, and that was one of the only times I caught a fish, because I just threw a line out there with a piece of ramen noodle on it, and I pulled in a fish. And Mom was really good at this. She made you feel like you were walking on air when you made, and so she says, "I'd like to cook that up for me," and so we gutted it and we cooked it on a rock, and she ate that and acted like that was the best tasting fish she'd ever had, and it probably was, because she hated the whole trip. but once we got into camp, she wasn't bad, but that was the last time we ever got her here. So
she just stayed home by herself.
What?
She just stayed
Oh
home by
yeah,
herself.
if she had a book, she was the reader in the family, and she just read. And
Did she help you
I
get
think she
ready?
brought a book here, and just Dad would get a blanket on the ground and just let her, and she just read a book the whole time she was here. She didn't go on any extra hikes or anything.
Did she help you get ready?
No. She didn't know what we were all excited to go on. And I don't understand it too, because I know that year she came, they picked us up from when I was at the Burton school. So I had to have been at least 5th grade, and then we left from there. And that would have been at least into September. That would have been colder than sin.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you went after school?
Yeah, we went
Is
up
that-
and we camped at the meadow.
Make it here.
And then,
The meadow.
Yeah.
Is that just the only time you could go? Like he could get off work or
Yeah,
something?
and we back then we'd always go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and come home Sunday.
That's right.
And we'd have a testimony meeting here the morning.
I think we did that some. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that just kind of
when you
phased
became
out.
bishop, we didn't. We
Yeah,
were
that
like, you know
kind
what,
of
you
phased
need to be
out.
back at church.
Yeah, when I became bishop, I think that's when that.
So I
phased
maybe
out.
did it one time. Because then
Probably.
Because I was 5 when you were bishop.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, it's been a really cool tradition. And one time, me and my dad, when we hadn't gone for a lot of years, and he was getting older, and I knew he wanted to come, I said, "Hey, Dad, we could just do a day trip if you don't mind riding on the back of the 4-wheeler." And he hates 4-wheelers. he hates anything like that. But he said, "Sure, let's go." But he'd be riding on the back of me, Tanner. And every time, how you should go down to shift or whatever, and it's kind of a jerk, and he'd go like that every time. And going up Snow Mountain, he'd be holding on to me, and I'm just sitting there going, in my arms, because he would just be
Pulling
me back, and I'm just sitting there going.
Come on.
My arms were just about ready to fall off, but it was so comical because I was laughing my head off. It was so funny.
Yeah, he's probably laughing too because he's so scared, like, but
And
you know,
I've
it's
got
gonna be okay. But
I've got all that documented, but it was back in the day of that stupid little digital camera that all the video was silent. It didn't even have. It didn't even have. So there are a couple of movies that don't work because it's that old stupid.
Does the video work at least?
I think so. I think
You could just
the
put
video
music
does
to
work,
it or
but
something.
you're just
Yeah.
sitting there watching him go. Whatever, and you can't do what he's doing. But that was a fun time. And when we got up on Snow Mountain, because that was the first time we could ride the 4-wheeler up there, we were walking around and we did this thing where we felt like we were on the top of the world, and of course we joke back, and so I go, you just feel like yelling out anything, and so I go, I hate laundry. and he started laughing so hard, and then we started making up stuff like, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. And neither one of us even knew if they were football or not. And we sit there and we just start, and he just laughed at the crazy stuff we were doing, and there, when you're up on some mountain, there's another mountain that way, and there was a patch of snow that was in the shape of a 7, and he had a crack about that, and I can't remember what it was. But
should have recorded all this.
we just sat there and
Sure
laughed.
thing.
We just sat up there and laughed our head off about that, about something about how I wonder if next month it'll be an 8, something like that, or and it was just so fun to be up there by myself with my dad. And the boy, when I yelled, I hate the Dallas Cowboys, he just thought that was so funny because we were just, it was like Rocky or something, you climb the top of the world, and it didn't matter what you said, because we had a good time.
Is that 7 still up there, or is it just?
I don't know. I haven't been up there for very long.
It's probably
And-
just how it melted or something.
yeah,
that
it was
weird.
just.
Unless it was
so
like a little
sad.
place where that's where the shade,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be funny if it was.
that was a good time, and that was just me and him. And those are the fun ones because I don't know of any of the other kids, including Rich. Rudy was good at going and getting Dad and going and do fishing and stuff, but that made me always feel good that we came down here and I said, Dad, I am so tired. I'm gonna just go lay on some. I think it was back here or something. I just laid on some of that green stuff that's under the trees over here, and I just said, I gotta take a nap so I can get you home. And so he just went over and just watched the lake for 45 minutes and just enjoyed it to heck, So,
Is that the last time you went?
I think so. Yeah, I don't
He
think
just
he
got
could have
too
hiked
old.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was when he was in his 60s, and so that's why the realization came to me.
Sean, you're 57.
Yeah, I know. The realization came to me when
He's riding the 4-wheeler.
Reg and Court mentioned maybe 10 years. Wait for 10 years to come again, or something. I'm going, I'll be 67, guys. I think this might be it, So,
No way.
but I'm not.
It's
You guys can
mission.
go.
It's no big. It's no big
The
for.
Idaho
It's no big for me to jump on a 4-wheeler and come up here for
Yeah,
the day.
that's-
It's not
Well, and
it's not a
that's-
big deal.
I remember a time or two that we went and Grandpa could, and I felt so bad that he couldn't come. Unless probably just one time, didn't you think? And then maybe
I don't
that's why
think
you
he was
took him.
coherent enough to know that we were up here without him.
Well, it must have, maybe it was a year that you took him up here because we went and we knew he couldn't make it.
No, I wouldn't have come up twice.
Maybe not.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
and he might
I
have
kind of
asked me,
remember
he might
that.
have said, man, it'd be sure fun to go up Scout Lake. And I said, well, why don't we just drive up, you know? And that was back in it with just the blue four-wheeler, I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't have a picture of it too, I think.
Yeah, you do. Of you guys standing up on Snow Mountain.
I remember the year he was here with us and stuff. I found a rock that was shaped like an axe head, and I was like, I don't know if I asked him or what, but I was like, I wish I could make this into a tomahawk or something. He just like got a rope out and lashed it perfectly to the
You still have that, don't
to the
you?
stick. I think so.
I'm
know you had it
pretty
for a
sure
long
you do.
time.
I think I do. And it was just the perfect lashing to it, you know, like where it was just perfectly secured and stuff. And I was just like, oh sweet, I'm gonna go try and cut something with that. And he's like, oh no, you can't cut anything with that, it'll break right off. Like he did, you know, the perfect thing for it, but he knew, like. And also that year he taught me how to make smoke rings. Like he got a stick and like just moved it kind of
Up and down.
yeah, like up and down and stuff. And I still do that with whenever I have a match, you know, whenever I light like a birthday candle or whatever, I move it up and down and look at the smoke rings and think of Grandpa.
Yeah.
That was just a fun little practical
He
thing that
could
he
always-
taught me, and it was fun to think of that.
He always had a piece of rope or whatever on these trips where, you know, when you cut your finger and he'd reach in and, I mean, back then the first aid kit was 2 Band-Aids and that's all you needed. You just no need for us. He'd grab that and, you know, of course she said, and you know, you just cut it on the lip of the Vienna sausage can. You know, stuff and anyway.
Not even from nature. It was just the food you brought in.
Yeah.
Is that all you ate? Was like what?
Oh yeah, have you been able to remember what you ate?
That's so I know on the trail we would have, there was back then there was King Bee jerky, and you got 2 of those probably. That you had a can of Vienna sausage and maybe some hard candy of some kind, but they would either be cinnamon discs or butterscotch discs.
Oh.
The ranchers really didn't.
Yeah.
Root beer barrels or something like that. And then, man, I know that there was pudding involved, but I think it was instant. You would just add water
From
and,
the lake.
you know, that kind of thing. It was just
Not even milk.
everything was instant. It was like what Tanner was using today, except really primitive. You know, where you'd
You just add the water from the lake.
yeah
too?
and that's what I was telling Mom today while we were pumping all that water.
Straight
I was
lake
saying
water.
we would just
You could just make sure there's
we
no
would go to
sticks
Coors
in
Creek
there.
and go. You know, I mean, it was there was no such
I remember
thing as
doing that at Coors Creek.
yeah. There was no such thing of filter and water. That's why it was so simple. We didn't have to carry anything. It was just our sleeping bag and a pair of undershorts. Didn't dare go poop in the woods. You know what I mean? It was just, you know, and man, I can't remember what we'd have. I know a pound of bacon was real.
Ramen, I guess. 'cause of the
We would just
fish.
do 1 pound of bacon, and he would cut them in half and just fry them on this rock.
I remember that.
And we
How long
would.
it take?
I remember that.
Oh, well, there was 5 of
Hour?
us. There was 5 of us, and he'd cook those on there, and then we'd hurry up and fry a Ballard biscuit out of that grease.